Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. Today we're going to continue working on those unit circles. Okay, remember last class we had to find certain degrees, break them down into two pieces. Okay, and then we will have to find cosine and sine for those degrees. Okay, today we're still doing the same thing. The only difference today we're actually going to solve those problems. Okay, so the objective for today is to solve for the degree. Okay. If you guys remember last class, one of those examples was 105 degrees. Then we broke it down into 60 and 45 degrees. Okay. We found for both of those, for 45 and 60, we found our sine and cosine. If you guys remember, when it comes to sine and cosine, we have cosine comma sine, okay, when it comes to those numbers on the parentheses. So for this first one, again, our unit circle, you guys already did this last class. For 60, we had our cosine for 60 degrees was 1/2. And our sine was radical of 3/2. For 45, if you guys remember from last class, we had radical of 2/2. Oh, radical of 2/2 and radical of 2/2. Okay, that's what we were dealing with last class. Okay, solving for each one. Today we're actually going to combine them. Okay, so today we're going to have the cosine of both degrees on one side minus the sines of both degrees. Okay, you might ask yourself, how do we do that? Okay, so for 60 degrees, we were going to have 1/2. Okay, so 1/2 times the other one's cosine, which in this case is radical of 2/2, minus are both sines, okay? Radical of 3/2 times radical of 2/2. Now that we have that, notice that I got cosine. Let's do it with another color here. We have cosine times cosine minus sine times sine, okay? Now, 2 times 2, because we're multiplying. 1 times radical of 2 is just radical of 2. So radical of 2 over 2 times 2, which is 4, minus radical of, since they're both radicals, we can combine them. 3 times 2 is radical of 6/4. Since they're both two different radicals to combine, we leave them as they are. The only difference is we rewrite it as radical of 2 minus radical of 6/4. And that's our answer. Okay? All I did is combine the bottom, because the top ones can be combined. And that's it. That's all we have to do. Okay? Let's do the other one. The other one I did on the board for you guys, which was 135 degrees. So we have 135 degrees. That was broken down last class into 90 and 45. Again, for 90, we had cosine of 0, okay, cosine, and sine of 1. For 45, we had cosine equals radical of 2/2, and sine equals radical of 2/2. Okay? So all we have to do again is combine them. So we have cosine of the first one times cosine of the second one minus sine of the first one times sine of the second one, okay? So we get 0 times radical of 2 cancels out, which is just 0, okay? Minus, so technically our answer, once this cancels out, because it's 0, minus radical of 2 over 2. We cancel out the 0, so we're left with negative radical 2 over 2, okay, for 135. You might ask yourself, is it true? Is that the answer? Well, luckily we have 135 on the unit circle. So if you look at 135, notice that your sine, or your cosine in this case, is negative 2 over 2. Okay, radical of 2 over 2. And that's it. Okay? So all you have to do is solve them this time. Okay? So here's your assignment for today. For the ones you did last class. Okay? The ones I gave you last class, I want you guys to now not only find cosine and sine, but this time actually solve them. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Alright guys, as soon as you're done watching the video, make sure to submit your answers, and I'll be here waiting for your email.